you're solving a problem that involves a formula, you want to get in the practice of applying these 4 steps. Now, this next problem, this example I'm going to work out, might be such a simple example for you that you feel, I don't need to show those steps, I can just work this out. But here's the catch. When you get to a more complicated formula problem, you want to have these 4 steps practiced and down so well that you can walk through these 4 steps seamlessly and still solve a challenging, more difficult problem. Here's the 4 steps. Number 1, write the formula. Yes, write that formula. Even if it's the same formula you've just used for the last 3 examples, write the formula. And then write the given amounts, fill in the given amounts, and then the last step 4 is to simplify. Here's an example, and again, I recognize this might feel like such an easy example that you don't need to do these 4 steps, but I'm encouraging you to do these 4 steps every time there's a formula, so that when you do get to that challenging example, you're able to do it seamlessly. So step number 1, even though I can do this problem mentally without showing very much work at all, I'm going to write the formula. Interest is the principal times rate times time. And number 2, I'm going to write what's given. I'm given that $500 is invested, so principal is $500. I'm going to write that the time is 3 years. And I'm going to write that the interest rate, not the I, because I is going to represent the interest amount, but the rate is 17%, which is equivalent to 17 per 100, or 17 100ths. 0.17. Next, for step 3, I'm going to fill in those amounts. So I've got I equals principal times rate times time. In place of principal, I'm going to write the 500. In place of rate, I'm going to write the 0.17, not the 17%, but I'm going to change it to a decimal to write 0.17. And in place of time, I'm going to write 3. By the way, notice that this has to be given as an annual interest rate. And if it's not described otherwise, it's implied that it's an annual interest. If it's a daily rate, monthly rate, quarterly rate, it'll say that. But the time, in this case we were given 3 years, has to match up with the type of interest rate. So if the time is in days, make sure you have a daily rate. Or if you have an annual rate, change the days to years. Or if you're given a monthly time is 7 months, either make sure that the interest rate is a monthly rate or change that interest rate to a monthly rate, or keep the interest rate yearly and change the time into years. But one way or another, make sure that the increment of time is equivalent, years and years. And then last, to solve this or to simplify this, I'm going to do the calculation. 500 times 17 hundredths, so that's 0.17, times 3 is 255. Now I'm going to add a 5th step, but it's not really the formula step, it's just any problem solving has this final step, is to answer the question. Therefore, the interest earned was or is $255. And notice I'm going to put the dollars on there as I answer the final question. Therefore, the interest earned was $255. Are you familiar with this symbol? It just means therefore. good way to practice ending a problem. You could write the word therefore out, or you could write that mathematical symbol, a triangle made out of 3 dots. I hope that this has helped you review that formula process. When you get to a more challenging formula example, apply these 4 steps so that you'll get better and better at getting the problem correct.